Okay, everyone, welcome. Really excited to have you today. Today, we're talking about creating inner peace and happiness. And I have 3 repeatable steps that you can use to create inner peace and happiness. What I wanted to remind everyone is that our inner peace and happiness come from the beliefs that we hold, whether those are fear-based beliefs or faith-based beliefs. Now, your fear-based beliefs are going to keep you stuck in a pattern of negative thinking and a downward spiral of unhappiness. And your faith-based beliefs are going to move you forward and propel you into happier thoughts and more inner peace and happiness. And what I mean by that is our thoughts, our repeatable thoughts turn into beliefs. So a belief is just a thought that we think over and over and over again. And if those thoughts are coming from a place of fear, for example, if I'm afraid to put myself out to, let's say, apply for a new job because I'm afraid I might fail or I'm afraid I'm not enough, then that pattern of thinking keeps me limited and keeps me from having my inner peace and my happiness. And it all stems from that underlying fear that we don't even always recognize as being a fear-based belief. Also, on the other hand, if I'm willing to put myself out there for a new job and put in a resume and take a chance because I believe or I keep thinking that, hey, I am constantly improving myself, I have a chance at this, then we're going to have more inner peace. We're going to have more happiness because our thoughts and hence our beliefs are coming from more of a faith-based mindset. Now, when I say faith, I want you to think of this. So the definition of faith is a belief with action. When I say faith, a lot of people take it as like a religious connotation, but faith is really a word that means belief in action. Trust me, it's my first name. I've done a lot of research on this. So really, it's the only word that works here because you can have a belief, but if you don't take action on it, it doesn't really benefit you in the long run. So you can have a hope, and having hope is great because it's a belief that something is coming, right? That good is going to happen. But the faith part of it, the faith part means that you're willing to take inspired action towards what you believe in. So that's why we have fear-based and faith-based. So today I want to tell you about 3 simple steps you can use, and you can do it over and over again. I'll give you a couple of examples, and then I'm going to ask someone in the audience to share something that they want to go through an example with. So what everything comes down to, and I'll keep telling you over and over and over again, is that it is the words, hence my words behind me, okay? It is the words we think. The words we think, the words we use in our thoughts, those help establish those thoughts. So you got to change your words. First thing, you change your words means you're going to change your thoughts. You change your thoughts, you're going to change those emotions. You change those emotions, you're going to change those actions. And you change those actions, you're going to get different results. But it all starts with your words. All right. So what we're going to go over today is our 3 simple steps. And our first step is going to be number 1. So write this down if you're listening. Number 1, list out the fear-based belief. List out the fear-based belief that you're having. So for example, maybe your fear-based belief is, I'm a procrastinator. I just procrastinate. I get busy with other things. I do the busy work and I procrastinate. Maybe that's your fear-based belief. All right. Step number 2, I want you to tell yourself, I don't do whatever that fear-based belief is. So let's say procrastination. I don't do procrastination, comma, I do, now do the opposite, immediate action. I don't do procrastination, I do immediate action. Okay, so that's step number 2. And step number 3 is going to be, you're going to list out all of the people that are going to benefit from you changing that fear-based belief into a faith-based belief. So list out all the people that are going to benefit from you changing the fear-based belief to the faith-based belief. Now, if a belief is a thought that we think over and over and over again, it makes sense that these steps would be designed for you to repeat over and over and over again, right? Nod and smile, nod and smile. Okay, so when you start to slip back into that fear-based belief, so for example, you're just sitting there and going, oh my gosh, I have so much to do. I really don't want to get this done. I think I'd rather go, I really don't want to fill out the paperwork right now for this new job. I really don't want to work on my resume right now. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go, as crazy as it sounds, I'm going to go wash some dishes. I'm going to go, my kitchen is a mess. It's distracting me. I can't complete my resume when my kitchen's a mess. So I'm going to go wash these dishes and then I'll do it. And what does that turn into? Oh, I'm going to go wipe off the counters and then I'll do it. I'm going to sweep the floor and then I'll do it. Oh, I've got some laundry to do and then I'll do it. Oh yeah, look at the time. It's time to go meet Betsy Sue and then I'll do it. So when you start to have those thoughts, my dog wants to come in. I told her she can't come in. She's a little bit high strung today. So when you have those thoughts, you stop and you say, I don't do procrastination. I do immediate action. And when I do immediate action, these are the people that benefit. I benefit, my children benefit, my spouse or partner benefits, my pet benefits, my, whoever it is that benefits. And you don't have to physically write them down in that moment, but repeat them in your head. Okay. And every time you slip back in, I don't do procrastination. I do immediate action. And by changing those simple words in your head, you're laying the foundation for a new belief. And these new beliefs bring you inner calm and inner peace. Because I will tell you, you cannot have calm if you are afraid. If you are living in fear, you cannot be calm. And if you are procrastinating, AKA, you have things that need to get done that you refuse to do because of your thoughts, your limiting thoughts and beliefs, you're going to have inner turmoil. You're not going to have calm. You're not going to have inner peace. You're not going to have that happiness that you're looking for. So it all comes down to identifying these fear-based beliefs. And then one by one, you start knocking them out and you get on a roll and you get some momentum and you really start moving with this. It just takes one though. You don't have to think, oh my gosh, I have like 500,000 of these. I'm never going to get it done. No. You just pick one. You just pick one to work on and that's it. And it creates a domino effect and it gets easier and easier and easier as you move through your other ones too. It's actually really awesome. The momentum that you get, again, kind of like that flywheel that I talked about before, or picture if anyone ever played on one of those merry-go-rounds that they stopped doing a long time ago because of liability reasons. You get like 50 kids on this merry-go-round and you're trying to push it. You're that one kid that's trying to push it so you can hop on. And at first it's really hard to push. Okay, maybe not 50, but we probably had like 12 to 15 on there. It's really hard to push. And then it starts to go faster and it starts to get momentum and more and more. And pretty soon it's really hard to jump on that. It's just flying. And it just flies and flies and flies. And it just needs a little bit of a push each time to keep it going. You don't have to use so much energy anymore. Well, that's what this is like. You get started with one limiting belief or limiting thought. And you say, what is my fear-based thought? What am I doing that I can change? And just do that one and you work on it. And it becomes easier and easier and easier. And you start to gain that momentum as you go and go and go. All right, so I want to do a little bit of an example here. So I did procrastination, and now we're going to do one that I'm sure most of us at one point in our lives can relate to, overwhelm. We all are busy. We all have a lot going on, and it becomes really easy for us to feel really overwhelmed, to feel everything piling on, and we're just not sure what to do. So in those moments when you have your children are like, oh, guess what? I have an assignment due today that I need to go buy 3 giant pieces of purple cardstock and sparkle pens, and I need to have this big poster made in the next 15 minutes. And you're what? And so what? And then your partner's like, oh yeah, the dog just threw up. And then work is calling you and they're like, we have an emergency. So in those moments where you're just completely overwhelmed, you can stop and you can say, I don't do overwhelm. I do calm. I don't do overwhelm. I do calm. And the people who are going to benefit from my calm are, well, number one, everyone around me right now that I'm not going to blow up at. Myself, because my stress levels aren't going to go through the roof, which is not healthy for me at all. And just start listing that out. I have an example of this. When I was in the car, we were driving in the car. I can't escape these people. My family are in the car with me, and everyone there's fighting going on in the back. My husband is trying to talk to me. I'm getting some pings on my phone, and it had already been kind of a building day with all these different things, and so this was just the culmination of everything. And I'm literally sitting in the passenger seat of the car going, I don't do overwhelm. I do calm. I don't do overwhelm. I do calm. I don't do overwhelm. I do calm. And my husband's like, I married a crazy person. But over time, I just was able to start breathing. I don't do overwhelm. I do calm. I don't do overwhelm. I do calm. And my whole not persona, but my perspective shifted. And I was no longer that person that was about to explode at people. I was able to just let it kind of flow through me and just say, okay, this is coming at me. It's okay. It's going to pass. This is coming at me. It's okay. It's going to pass. It's almost like I became part of that stream or that flow. And I just allowed everything to just kind of flow through me. And guess what? It all worked out and I didn't have to do a dang thing. It was amazing. But I, in that moment, became the thought that I kept thinking in my head that I wanted to be, not the old thought, not the old me, not the overwhelmed me. I became the calm me. So it really, really works. You can repeat these over and over again as many times as you need. And you don't even have to do step 3 if you're like me in the car in the situation when you're like, and all the people that'll benefit will be all the ones that are not sitting around me that are about to feel my wrath. You can just keep saying, hey, I don't do overwhelm. I do calm, or whatever it is that whatever that limiting or that fear-based belief is or thought is that you have been struggling with. So let's take an example now from someone on here. Jesse, do you want to give us an example? You comfortable with that, or?
I'm trying to think of an example. I had one yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot going on yesterday. I had soccer in the morning, and then a barbecue at a friend's house, and then a rucking event in the afternoon. And I got a little bit overwhelmed with all of it. And by the afternoon, I was getting pretty tired, and I thought, well, I'm just not going to go. And my family, of course, wanted to go, and I had my 6-year-old son saying, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. But I knew if I, got home and sat down and settled in for the evening, I wasn't going to go. So I try to change my mindset. If I get home and maybe I worked on a different project and kept myself going and put myself in the mindset as instead of coming home, getting into comfy clothes and, taking that hour, and instead of procrastinating and not, I don't know how to put it, changing into lazy mode. Yeah, maybe if I just changed it and did a different project, maybe it kept myself going. then we would be able to do all the things that my family wanted to do instead of letting myself getting overwhelmed and taking each section of the day one by one. That's the only
Yeah,
example
that's
that I
great.
can think of instead
So
of letting, go ahead.
I love what you're saying here because it's a really great example when you were saying you were feeling really tired. And I know that you've had a lot of tired in your life lately for various reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And with this particular situation, you also mentioned you had a lot going on and you were really overwhelmed. And that
Mm-hmm.
I'm overwhelmed thought, what do you think that does to your body? What do you think that when we talk about we have a thought, then we have an emotion, then there's an action, and then there's a result? Like, what do you think that overwhelm is in those 4 steps? The thought is, I feel overwhelmed. The emotion
My
is,
first thought was, when I felt overwhelmed, my first emotion was it wanted to make me shut down.
mm-hmm.
Like it made me feel tired.
Tired. Yes. Tired is an emotion. It sure is.
Yeah. And so after I got done with the family or the friends barbecue, I was like, okay, now I'm really tired. I feel like I'm drained.
Mm-hmm.
I had enough social interaction for the day. I'd already done soccer and then the barbecue, and I felt like, okay, I'm done peopling.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had enough, of the social part. And I feel like I can maybe go back and recharge my batteries now.
So I love that. So your first thought was, I feel overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Then your feelings were tired and drained. Then your action could have been, I'm going to go home and I'm going to lay down for the rest of the afternoon.
Yep.
But instead, you said, okay, I'm going to shift this.
Yep.
And I'm going to say, instead of thinking I'm overwhelmed, you actually changed your thought. I don't know if you realized that, but you changed your thought in that moment when instead of going and laying down, you went and you did something else. What were you thinking when you went and did that?
Well, my son, he really wanted to go on this evening ruck with everybody. It was a Halloween theme, and he really, really wanted to go. He came home immediately and put on his costume. And so I thought, well, if I sit down, that would be the end of the evening, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my thought was, I can do this. I just need to keep myself motivated so I can do this. And I just had to think, you can do this, just keep going. You can do it. You can still keep moving forward.
Yeah. So instead, you change your thought from I feel overwhelmed to basically a form of I can do hard things, or I can do this, or I can take one more step, right? You change that thought. And in that moment, when you change that thought, you had a different emotion.
Right.
You had, okay, I am resilient. I am, you said motivated. I am capable. So you had this new emotion, this new desire come up in you, and then you took action and did something else. And your result was you were able to take your son to that evening activity. Whereas if you hadn't first changed that thought, then you wouldn't have done that.
Yep.
Instead of doing overwhelm, you did something different. You didn't necessarily say, I do calm. You said, without actually telling yourself this, you basically said, well, I don't do overwhelm today. Today, I don't do overwhelm. Today, I do immediate action. Or today, I do one step at a time.
And I woke up yesterday morning thinking, wow, there's a lot to do today.
You started in overwhelm mode.
Yeah, I did. I knew that it was going to be a lot. But I mean, I woke up thinking I haven't had such a busy Saturday in a long time. And I woke up thinking that, but I mean, I told myself, well, yes, it's going to be a long Saturday, but you can do all the things. You just have to want to.
Yes.
So, I mean,
go ahead.
I told myself it's going to be a long day, but they're all fun things that you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have to do them.
And you could
because you
shift
want
that
to.
even a little bit more. So do you notice how when you said, I have so many things to do,
Right.
but they're fun things. Okay, so you kind of tried to negate that a little bit. And it's a long day. It's going to be a long day. But there are things that I want to do. If you just shift those first thoughts, like instead of, I have so many things to do, I have several fun things to do today. And then the second one was, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be an excitedly full day today. It's going to be a day full of adventure. So it kind of just shifts, though it changes the words, so it changes the meaning. Again, change the words, change the meaning. And I want you to know, okay, this is really important. It is absolutely okay to not do all the things. It really is. You do need time for yourself. You do need time to relax. You do need time to breathe in so you can then breathe out. Because if you're constantly going, you're going to run yourself down. And that's not healthy. But if you're in a place where you are always kind of stuck in this maybe tired mode, or you just have no desire to go do anything, it's actually good for you to give yourself a little bit of a kick in the butt and get out there and start some motivation. Start some, not motivation, start some momentum. Start some momentum going. Yes. And so I feel like that's what you're talking about.
Yesterday, the only time I felt tired was pretty much that hour gap in between the barbecue and the event in the evening. And I knew that was because during the places that I wasn't really tired.
Right.
I was enjoying my time.
And that's kind of a trigger for you anyway, where you were because of how you've been feeling. So your location was already a trigger for you to feel that way. Yep. So it's important to remember that is you will be triggered to go to past limiting beliefs and thoughts by locations or by phrases or by people. You will immediately get triggered in your brain because of our brain's circuitry. I mean, it's not even, circuitry, but we talk about it like that. But those neural networks, neural pathways, a specific person might say something and you'll immediately get triggered to this thought. Or you're in a specific place and you immediately get triggered to this thought, which then produces this emotion, which then produces this action, unless you stop and change that thought like you did. So you did really great because you already had all these things kind of stacked against you. And you were like, nope, not today, not today.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Okay, yeah, it was a good day.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad to hear that. So in recap now, if you want to get out ahead of this, and what I mean by get out ahead of this is if you know there's something that you're struggling with and you want to start practicing ahead of time so that it doesn't take as much energy in the moment, figure out what it is you're kind of struggling with and start doing those 3 things. Just start writing that out every day. Start saying, okay, here's what I'm struggling with. Let's just go back to the procrastination one because it's in my head. I'm struggling with procrastination. Okay, I'm going to say, I don't do procrastination. I do immediate action. And then the people that benefit when I do immediate action are blah, 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 blah. And those are the 3 steps. And you can do those when you wake up in the morning every single day. And the reason I say when you wake up in the morning is because when you wake up, you have this fresh slate and you want to start out with positive thoughts. You want to start out with happy, positive, emotional, goodness building thoughts so that you have some momentum throughout the day. And if you lose that, it's okay. The next day you can go a little farther. The next day you can go a little farther. And you over time will build up until you're having an entire day of awesomeness and great feelings. And I'm not saying it's going to be like that every single day of your life, but the hard times get easier and the good times get better, which is super awesome. So that was really great, Jessie. Any final things you want to say?
I got nothing.
Okay. Okay. So that's all I've got for today. I'll have all the steps listed out in the blog article, and that is at faithjoybooks.com. So you can go there and find the blog article on creating calm and happiness in your life, or inner peace and happiness in your life. And there's lots of other blog articles out there, so go read them. If you're not on my email list, you can join my email list at faithjoybooks.com, and I send out a weekly pick me up email with some tips and usually some stories on things that have happened to help you kind of relate and get to just a higher place in your life. And I love to serve. Reach out to me. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help as far as writing on some specific topics that you're interested in, and we'll even do a webinar about it. So bless you all. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Sending love.